Hello, beautiful souls. I am recording this. Likely I'll release it audio only. I'm on vacation this week and just came home to do a little bit of work today. We're actually up at the lake and just kind of one of those weeks of a mix of work and play. And I wanted to connect with all of you. So perfectly imperfect. You may hear some birds in the background. You may hear a seaplane flying overhead. It's midsummer here in Michigan, so that's what we got. So we're going to talk about courageous confidence today and what it means to really pursue life based on what's true instead of what's right. So I've really been tapped into what's happening in my world. And I know for many of you, you have been experiencing a sense of the time is now. You're feeling like there is a desire to really expand your mission. You're meant to make an impact in the world in whatever way that you are meant to do it. But there's this sense of, I guess mission is the best word I can think of, that's on your heart, that you are ready to launch into the world in a beautiful way. And I don't just mean launch, because many of you already are living your mission. You have very successful, active businesses. But there has been this sense of like, yep, and it's time to deepen into who I really am in the world and bring even more of that to my leadership, to the business I'm leading. It's like this sense of becoming more of who you really are and to infuse that into everything you do. So if you're listening to this and you feel like that is you, let me know, reach out, send me a message, and let me know that you're feeling this too. So I feel like gone are the days when we kept business and our personal lives completely separate. At least, I shouldn't say they're gone, but for a lot of the people that are in my circle that I'm working with, there's a sense of like really bringing our full selves to everything that we do. And instead of the old paradigm, old way of business, where when it came to business, you were strictly focused on being whoever you needed to be to get the job done, and you kind of left your personal life personal. Now there's like this beautiful blend of all of it. And the more you that you are, the more that you expand and grow, the more impact you make, the more money that you make, because your life is your secret sauce. I love to use the words, your life is your strategy. So often when we are trying to build a business, many of you that follow us, I know, are entrepreneurs, leaders. So often when we're trying to build a business, we are looking for the perfect strategy. It's like, I just need to know how. I just need that perfect step-by-step. And strategy is really important, and we need really good, sound business strategy in order to succeed. But what's also true, what I believe and what I see happen in my life every single day, is that great strategy works exponentially when we are coming from an aligned space, when we are really operating as the truth of who we really are in the world. When we are in our truth, then we take action, and the strategy makes a much bigger impact than if we're just relying on strategy alone, yet we're coming from this fearful place or we're coming from lack. So I love to say your life is your strategy, because success is not created in a vacuum. Success is not just created by following the perfect strategy or a step-by-step, but, I'm a stand for you to have a successful life. I want every single area of your life to be an area that is joyful, that you feel like you're thriving in. And I really do believe that you can have it all, that we can all have it all. You didn't come here to struggle. You're not meant to struggle. So this conversation today was sparked by a conversation I had earlier. I did a Facebook Live. At the time that I'm recording this, I had done a Facebook Live with Carrie Stanley. And you can check it out. It is currently live on our Rise Leadership Circle page. And we were talking about prioritizing faith over logic, and how that really is her message and her mission, is she is teaching women how to prioritize listening to faith, choosing faith, trusting that inner voice, much like the message that we share here. So it's a really aligned message. And so, as we were talking, I was saying to her, following what's true, meaning what's true, our aligned truth, is not always the same thing as following what's right. Because what's right in the eyes of the world is often in direct opposition to what is our personal truth. And it requires courage and it requires confidence in order to pursue our own truth, because so often the people in our life don't get it. Even sometimes the most well-meaning people, the people who love us the most, often are the ones who that can bring up a lot of fear when we start to follow our own truth, because it might not make sense. It might not be logical, might not look right on paper. So in my own journey, like when I first really saw the power of this in my own life and stepped out into what was true instead of what was right, was a very pivotal moment where everything in my life shifted and changed in a powerful way. So without going too deep into the details of the story, it happened for me when I was in my first life coach training. So this was probably 11 years ago now, maybe 12 or so years. It's been a while that I took my first training. And at the time I was married. I was struggling in my marriage, and it was on probably every level, the marriage itself was out of alignment for me. I was really suffering. I was really unhappy. It was really difficult on my family. And at the time, when we were walking through this, I went to speak with my pastor at our church to just say, like, what do I do? And I remember, sitting down with him and explaining the situation and talking about where I was and just asking for some guidance and some advice and for next steps. It was just like feeling really lost. And I remember that his advice to me at that time was kind of like, you made your bed, you need to lie in it. In essence, I'm just going to sum it up as it was kind of like, you just need to deal with it. And you just need to live with it. Like, you made this choice. It doesn't matter if you're miserable, so to speak. And that was about doing what's right, meant you chose this life, now suffer your way through it. And that's how to be good, right? That's how you do what's right. And I left there feeling really defeated, but also really wanting to honor my relationship with God as I knew it at that time. And so I can remember reading all kinds of books and really looking at myself and what can I change within me? What do I need to do different? How can I fix this? And spending, it probably was another 2 years, I would say, from that point, maybe longer, 2.5 years, that I stayed and kept trying to figure out I don't know how to figure it out, right? How to succeed in this relationship where clearly things were not working. And it was during that time that I was taking my life coach training, which probably was 2011, maybe. I remember we went into a meditation in this particular training. And during this meditation, I had the most profound experience, I will just say, connecting how I relate to God and just receiving a direct download and a message in that moment that I wasn't meant to suffer, that I wasn't honoring God or myself or anyone by choosing a life of suffering, where I was not bringing my gifts forward. I wasn't living in the way that I meant to live. And there was a ripple effect to choosing suffering that went on to my family and other areas of my life. And it was such a clear message and a profound message for me that I knew in that moment I had to choose my truth over what society was telling me was the right thing to do. And even though it took a lot of courage and it was scary and there was a lot of perhaps judgment for making that choice, everything from that moment forward shifted in my life because I chose to do what was true and aligned for me instead of what was quote unquote right. Now, I'm not here to say that this is not about the church. This is not about, any of that. It's really the message for me really was having to connect with my own truth. And then from there really began to create a new relationship with my higher power and how I see it. And choosing that alignment for me is part of the way that I stay connected with how I perceive that. So since that time, everything changed. I went through a divorce. I sold my business. I made a move. I, have shifted careers, so many things. My life is not at all the same as it was. And I can see the ripple effect that that's having for people around me. And I never would have had this experience of joy and success in the things that are true for me now had I chosen what was right instead of what's true. And so for those of you who really feel like you do have this calling on your life right now, maybe it's simply to bring more of who you really are into your work or into your relationship or into what you do. And there's a part of you that feels fearful about that. Maybe it feels scary to let people see the real you, to really talk about, maybe it's something that you really believe in, or to infuse that perhaps into your work. Or maybe it's like you have a mission and a calling on your heart, and there's a part of you that's playing small and you're holding back and you're not becoming visible with it. And it's because you don't want to ruffle feathers, right? You want to do what's right by society, or maybe what other people think the right thing is for you to do. And it requires courage to instead choose what's true. But this is what I mean when I say your life is your strategy, right? It's every area of your life in alignment is where you will uncover your greatest gifts. You'll feel the most joy. It doesn't mean, pursuing this path of what's true versus what's right. I say courageous confidence because it requires courage. It is not necessarily the easy breezy path because, of course, you're going to have to make difficult choices. You may have people upset with you. Relationships may come to an end. Your career choices may shift. All kinds of things in your life may change. It requires courage, but it also requires confidence to tune in and ask yourself, what is my truth? What is my own wisdom, my own alignment telling me? And what I found to be true is, even though that may not be an easy path, it is the path to your greatest joy, your greatest fulfillment. And it's also the place where you're going to create this beautiful ripple effect out into the world where you will make the biggest impact. So this is my invitation for you today to ask yourself, where can I choose what's true instead of what's right? If this message resonated for you today, let me know. I would love to hear from you. I love the conversations that we have sometimes after the podcast. And I want to tell you that if you are looking for a community of people who are committed to taking courageous action, who are committed to living a life based on what's true instead of necessarily what's right, I want to invite you to join us inside of our membership community. It's called The Circle, and it is over at Rise Leadership Circle, which is the community, obviously, that you are listening to here. Kayla is my daughter and my business partner, and we are committed to helping you own new levels of your value, your power, your worth, standing in your truth, and taking courageous action so you can make the biggest impact. We also want to help you become well paid so that you can live a prosperous life in every single area of your life. So what's happening over inside of The Circle right now, you guys, is so exciting. We are really starting to see more and more women. Like, I just had a conversation with one of my clients last week who told me that she had woken up that morning, went into a meditation, and was just crying tears of immense joy because she's stepping into the truth of who she is. She has been working in corporate, loves that job. It's been great for her, but has really had a calling on her heart about stepping into more of who she really is, about becoming an entrepreneur, and about expanding her gifts into opening up to helping more and more and more people. And the more that she has done that, it's like things are just popping all over the place. She's meeting the right people. She's hearing yeses. She's stepping into her truth, and the sense of fulfillment and alignment and purpose and things lining up and having the support of this beautiful community are absolutely changing her life. The community at The Circle is inclusive. So we want everyone to feel like a part of our community, no matter what your faith background is, no matter what your belief is. If you are looking to connect with high vibrational people who want to make a bigger impact in the world and who don't want to do it alone, who want to have the support. I don't know of another community like this where you can really tap into your own inner truth. You get guidance. You'll have a private coach, you guys, where you get twice a month coaching sessions. They are 15-minute power laser sessions. You bring one thing to the call. You guys leave with a solution, or you leave with that alignment. And every single week, Kayla and I are in there guiding you, teaching you for less than $3,000 for the entire year. You guys, I don't know of anything else that delivers such profound results and impact. And so our community, our membership is open right now, and you can simply message me. You may, if I'll have our team drop the link below. You may get the wait list. That's okay. Just fill out the information. Somebody will be in contact with you. At the time this airs, I'm not exactly sure if it's just open or if we're on wait list, but somebody will contact you, and we will welcome you into this incredible community. It's like every single day I am hearing wins, and I am seeing celebrations, and I am seeing people step into the truth and to answer that calling that's on their heart. So if that's you, the doors are open. I would love to welcome you in. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I am going to finish up a little work and then get back to some R&R. So sending you love, and look forward to hearing from you after the podcast.